name is John Cottrell. This is Power Hour, and this is a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga practice. So we're going to be focusing on shoulders today, shoulders. And so in our flow practice today, we're going to be doing some work that will stretch out our shoulders because we can hold a lot of tension in our shoulders, right? So stretching, but also strengthening our shoulders so we can continue to hold those heavy burdens, right? But we also want to let those burdens go at times, release that tension. So hopefully this practice will do just that. Okay, so hopefully you got your yoga mat rolled out. We are ready to go. Oh, we do need some yoga props. You might want to have a block or two. One is fine if you happen to have a block. It could even be like a pillow or a rolled up towel, a book, just something that has a little bit of a lift to it. That's all we really need for this practice. And that's it. And so maybe a nice cool beverage like a bottled water. Let's go ahead and start. So I invite you to stand near the top of your mat. Standing in mountain pose with your feet about hip distance apart, your toes are pointing forward here. Now you can stay just like this for a few seconds and then change this posturing if you need to. This just helps to align the lower half of our bodies, establishing balance, centering, and connection. But if you need to, you can always take your feet slightly apart because this will feel a little bit more natural, and even turn your toes out a little bit, just as long as you feel like you're standing on your own 2 feet. There's an even distribution of weight across both feet. And once you feel settled here, you might want to take some deep breaths, just in and out. And as you're taking these deep breaths, let's just give our shoulders a nice circle here. Since we're going to be working on stretching and strengthening our shoulders, let's give them a little bit of a warm-up. You can do one at a time like this. Just roll the shoulder, roll it backward, roll it forward a few times. Do it on both sides or both at the same time if you'd like. And then even just shrug your shoulders. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears and then press down. Again, lift and press. One more time. Lift and press. And then just kind of shake it all out. And then when you're ready, just come back to stillness. You're welcome to close your eyes or just soften your eyes where you're taking a gaze forward or downward and continue to tune into your breath. Just slow, steady breaths in and out. Good. As you're breathing, you want to feel your breath. You might even feel the breath rising upward to fill up your lungs. A nice expansiveness here in the chest. And as you exhale, you want to draw your navel inward toward your spine so you create an engagement in your abdominal muscles. You're kind of flexing them. Exhaling, navel pulls in towards spine so you really get a good sense of your center. So again, your breath in is a nice inhale to feel the breath rise, filling up your lungs. Exhaling, drawing belly in. And just continue that a few more times. Notice the sound of your breath. And if you need to, just turn up the volume of your breath so you can really tune in. Very nice. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths in and out as we now prepare our bodies to move. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Reach high, big stretch. Exhale, let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to as you make your way down towards your toes, perhaps touching your toes. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or thighs and extend your spine, creating a long, flat back. We're going to exhale and fold, and we're going to hold here for a bit so we can continue focusing on our shoulders. If it works for you, just go ahead and hang heavily forward. We sometimes call this ragdoll. And continue to create motion in your shoulders. That same circling effect. Roll them backward, roll them forward. And even kind of this circular motion here like you were stirring a pot of soup. Counterclockwise, clockwise. Again, just kind of getting into the shoulder joints. You might want to add a little neck movement here. Maybe nod and yes. Shake your head no.
Again, just paying attention to any tension that you might be holding in this area of your body. All right, from here, go ahead and shift your weight back towards your heels, bend your knees. Feel like you're going to sit down into a chair. Look forward, take your arms out to the side, then inhale, pressing feet into the ground, straightening your legs, reaching up into the air, reach high, and as you exhale, bring your arms down by your side. Hold here for a moment. Do one more quick circle of the shoulders, shake them out, and then just come back to mountain. Good. Let's do that once again. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, let's fold forward. A good hinge from hips, bent knees, maybe touching the ground. Inhale, rise up halfway. Long, flat back like a table. Exhale, let's fold. Right away, shift your weight back into your heels, bend your knees. Look forward. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way back up to standing. Reach a little higher if you're able. Exhale, arms return down by your side. Roll shoulders and shake it out. Nice. Hold for a moment. Just come back to stillness. We're going to go right into our sun salutation now. Whenever you're ready to move, and inhale to extend your arms up into the air. Exhale, let's fold forward, coming back down towards toes. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bending your knees, hands to the mat. Let's step both feet back into plank pose or high push-up position right here. We'll inhale, taking a nice long breath in. Exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips up into the air, just moving into downward facing dog. We're going to do several things here. First, adjust your feet and hands as you need to settle into the posture. Make sure your hands are pressing firmly into the floor, so your hands are creating a good foundation. Your arms feel energized, they're straight and strong. Keep a slight bend in your knees. That way your hips will have a little bit of motion and you can continue sending them up into the air. Once you're in place, as it feels okay, just feel your chest kind of sink down between the arms, like you're moving towards the floor. And then reverse that by sending your upper back forward. Again, kind of between the arms, like you're moving forward. Do that 2 more times, very slowly, sinking the chest, like you're sinking down between the arms. Then reverse it, taking upper body forward. Again. So we're getting a little bit of a stretch, not only for the chest, but also for the shoulders here. All right, come back to a neutral posture. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Again, weights in the heels. Bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come up. Exhale, arms down by your side. Hold. Just come back to stillness. Take a few deep breaths. If you want to move your shoulders and wrists, you're welcome to. Just returning to a nice tall body, mountain pose. So we're going to move into series B of our sun salutation. I'm going to face you for this first part. So we're going to inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, take chair pose. Here, hold chair pose, but you're going to change your arm posture. We'll just call this a goalpost or like a cactus right here. So you have this nice L shape, bent elbows in your arms. And then I'm just going to turn this way now. You want to feel the arms pull back. Feel like your chest is moving forward. We kind of did that in our down dog, where the chest kind of sunk down between the arms. So it's feeling like, well, imagine you were in a doorway and your hands are at holding onto the doorway and you're trying to push through. So you might even feel this not only in your shoulders, but your upper back. Breathe in and exhale. We're going to dive forward, coming down towards toes. Let's continue our flow. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the ground. Walk or step both feet back into plank pose. Breathe in. Follow me here. We're going to exhale, bend elbows to lower yourself all the way down to the floor. So you're long and flat on the ground. Hands are just placed on the floor underneath your shoulders. Now your shoulders might be dipping down towards the floor. If that's the case, roll them away from the floor and even squeeze shoulder blades together a little bit. As you engage your upper back, you might even feel your upper body lift just a tiny bit, and that's all you need to do for this. I'd even suggest gripping your mat with your fingertips and try to pull yourself forward like you're dragging yourself across the floor. Hold for a breath in. As you exhale, just push back to hands and knees, then tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips up into the air, a return to down dog. Now let's inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor. We're going to inhale, rise up, warrior one, reach high. Exhale, folding again, bring hands down to the floor, step back into plank pose. We're going to do the exact same thing. Bend your elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs as you lower yourself all the way to the floor. Make sure you elongate through your legs and feet so your toes are pointing to the back of the room. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Roll the shoulders away from the floor. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Lift a tiny bit. Grip mat. Pull forward. Inhale. Exhale. Push back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes so you can lift your hips up into the air. Adjust your feet if you need to. Then inhale. Extend left leg up into the sky. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, right heel plants into the floor. Inhale, float up. Warrior one. Exhale, fold again, hands back down to the floor. Step back plank. Now you can just do a regular Chaturanga to up dog. Coming down, maybe hovering over the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra or that exact same thing we just did for that minor back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's pause here for a moment. Let's do that same action of sinking the chest down between the arms and then push upper back forward between the arms. So kind of forward and back. Do it 2 more times. Sink, release. 1 more, sink and release. Now we'll just kneel down onto the floor. We're going to lie down. So we're just going to sit back briefly in hero, slide off of the feet, swing the legs around to the front, sit in the center of your mat, and go ahead and lie down onto your back. I'm just going to adjust my mat here. So we're going to lie down. Go ahead and bend your knees, feet flat on the ground. We're going to move into bridge pose in a moment. But first just lie here just to feel settled into the ground. Maybe some deep breaths. Although we're going to be doing a back bend, a bridge pose, we're going to be thinking about our shoulders as well. As we lie flat, you're obviously, just well connected to the ground. Your shoulders just kind of in their neutral spot. But once we lift up into bridge, we're going to try to get the shoulders underneath us. Here we go. Breathe in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage your belly and lift hips up into the air. Okay, now the hips have lifted, but upper body really hasn't changed. Here's where it does change. Rock your upper body left and right a little bit and try your best to get your shoulders underneath you, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then, if you're able, interlace your fingers underneath you. Now, you don't have to do that. If they don't fold, that's okay. If you can, keep the arms underneath you, but your shoulders underneath you, but your arms can just lie flat on the ground. Interlace fingers if you can. Big breaths here, filling up your lungs. Exhaling, even squeezing shoulder blades together underneath you. Okay, this is opening up through the chest and all through the whole front side of your body, your belly, your hips, your thighs. But even thinking of the shoulders. So we're really targeting kind of the front portion of the shoulders a little bit to give them a little bit of space and opening. Okay, we're coming out of the pose. You're going to wiggle your toes forward a little bit. If your fingers are folded, let's release and reach both arms up into the air and then roll down to the ground. Let's bring knees to chest, hug them in. Inhale. Exhale to rock your way up to seated so we can come to boat pose. So here we can lift the feet. Maybe energize the feet, flexing the feet or pointing your toes. Shins are perhaps parallel to the ground. Feel free to hold on to the legs to help lift your upper body so it's nicely extended, but you're at an angle like this. Nice opening up through the chest. Let's take several breaths here, reconnecting to our core center.
So we're breathing in, fill up your lungs. Exhaling, engaging your belly. Nice, strong body. Or let's continue. We're going to move here. Breathe in first. As you exhale, if you're able, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Let's just take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees a little, send your hips up into the air. Let's continue with lunges. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel plants into the ground. We'll inhale, float up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Adjust your feet. I like to take mine a little bit wider for a nice deep lunge and outstretched arms. Now this really builds some endurance in your arms and your shoulders just by holding like this. Nice energy here. All right, side angle. We're going to reach forward to angle the upper half of the body. Rotate your arm so your right arm comes down. Left arm reaches up into the air initially. Good stretch, good reach. Several breaths in this position. I'm just going to add on to this. And then just bring left hand down behind you to your low back, right here, behind you, or on left hip like this. We're going to go back to those circles with the shoulder. Just so find some mobility in the shoulder and just maybe rotate it 3 or 4 times. And then hold it back behind you, the shoulder, when you're complete. Again, we want to feel some nice opening up through the chest, but we're also getting a nice stretch and reopening where it ties in your shoulder to chest, because that is a particular space that gets tight. Let's inhale, re-extend left arm up into the air. Exhale, let's turn, hands down to the floor. Step back, plank, hold. Let's hold a little bit longer because this is building a lot of strength in our arms and shoulders. So really feel like you're trying to push the ground away from you. Even feel your back broaden, breathing in deeply. As you exhale, just take your shortcut to down dog, bend your knees, hips into the air. Okay, other side. Inhale, extend left leg up. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants down behind you. Let's inhale, float arms up into the sky. Exhale, opening into warrior two. Adjust the feet. Build your base. Long, tall torso. Outstretched arms reaching in opposite directions, building that strength and endurance in your shoulders because they can get pretty tired here. Side angle, reach forward. Rotate your arms. Left hand down, right arm reaching up into the air. Reach and stretch for a couple breaths. Then you're going to bring your right hand down behind you, either to your low back right here or to your right hip. Just somewhere where you have some mobility, we can do those same circles with the shoulder. Just roll it backward 3 or 4 times. And after that last time, just hold it back to open up through the chest. Again, releasing some of that tension that can build up in that tie-in between the shoulder and the chest. Let's inhale, re-extend arm up into the air. Exhale, turn, hands down to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Hold again. Push into the ground. Strong arms. Feel a slight broadening of your back. What you could do is bend your knees a little bit, even round your back a little bit, and you'll feel that broadening. Now we're going to come down, bend elbows, come all the way down to your belly again. Long legs, point your toes. Roll shoulders away from the ground, squeeze shoulder blades together. Grip your mat, pull forward with a slight lift in the chest, and if you want to add, lift your feet. Lower the feet. Inhale. Exhale, push back to hands and knees. We're going to stay on hands and knees. You can tuck your toes if you want here. But we're going to do cat and cow. So inhale, lift head and heart, arching your back. Exhale, round it out. So this is a nice working for the spine, also for your pelvis, because they're in motion. This is also affecting the shoulders.
even though the arms aren't in motion, just because of the movement of the torso, it does affect our shoulders in a good way. So an inhale to look forward or up, creating that back bend feel. Exhale, pull belly button up towards spine, rounding the spine. That's that rounding and expansiveness we want to feel in the back body. So again, when you exhale into cat pose, feel that broadening of the back. Good, do that one more time, one more breath. Cat and cow. And then finish in a neutral position. Hold. Sit back into hero pose. See if you can hold this for a little bit. We've been doing a lot of opening for the chest where the arms basically come behind us, but let's kind of get in the rear deltoids or the back portion of the shoulders. So first just take your left arm and extend it out to the side, right there, and bring it across the body. And just find that natural stop. Take the other arm and hook to the front of it and then just pull it forward or pull it toward yourself. Okay, just like this. And so that way we get a nice stretch sensation, kind of the outer portion of the shoulder and the rear portion of the shoulder. What you can also do is kind of do a gentle motion up and down. Okay, let's do the other side. So we're just going to release and take it all the way back out and then down by your side. Let's extend the right arm out. Bring it across the body until it just naturally stops. Use the left arm to hook and draw it in for the stretch toward yourself. Hold for a static position, breathing, and even imagine you're breathing into the shoulder. You can stay in the static hold or even that slight motion up and down. It kind of gets into the joints and ligaments there and in the muscles, kind of massages the muscles. Very nice. Let's release, re-extend the arm out, back to the side, and then down. All right, let's come out of our hero pose. Come back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. Breathe in fully. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way up to standing, reach high. Exhale, arms down by your side. Excellent. If you'd like, another quick circle of the shoulders and shake out the hands and wrists. Check in to see how your shoulders are feeling at the moment. Maybe they're getting an initial stretch and ready to continue with our practice. Okay. Follow me here. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring your arms down slowly. And as you bring them down, start to reach behind you like this. Just reach like you're reaching for something behind you. Again, we're bringing the shoulders back, opening up through the front portion of the shoulders and the chest region. Now you can just stay like this, keeping the arms back. Even imagine maybe you're holding on to a box behind you so there is an engagement. If you're able, though, go ahead and interlace your fingers. So you have an option, just reach or interlace. If you interlace the fingers, send your knuckles down towards your heels. That'll just kind of bring the arms down, drops the shoulders. And then if you can, roll the shoulders back a bit more, squeezing shoulder blades together. Now it's okay if the arms don't go straight. If they're slightly bent, that's fine too. Okay, let's hold that for a couple more breaths. We're going to add on to this. Make sure your neck is long and you're looking directly forward. All right, now I'm just going to put a slight bend in the knees. Just let them jet forward slightly. And then we're going to start to tip over like we're in chair pose. Go ahead and for a moment, just let your arms just relax on your back body. Find your chair pose. And then lifting the arms, if the fingers are still folded, keep them folded, but just lift the arms slightly away from the body. Shoulders are drawing back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Now you can stay just like this, or sit a little deeper, bringing your belly down towards thighs, and then start to tip over where your head is going down, hips are going slightly up, but also your folded fingers are reaching up towards the ceiling. Again, continue to extend through the neck. Be aware if you're looking trying to look forward or looking down and between the knees. If you're looking between your knees, just lift the head a little bit so the neck is more neutral. Same alignment as the rest of the spine, because you'll find more mobility in the arms, perhaps sending the folded hands over your head. Now, you don't have to force this at all. If your hands are still closer to your back body, then keep them there. Are we going to release the hands down to your low back? If fingers are folded, release and let your arms just drop down to the floor. And again, some circles here. Release all that tension. Circle the shoulders. Stir the soup. Nod your head. Shake your head. All right, let's continue the flow. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the floor. Hop or step back, plank pose. We're going to come all the way down to belly. We're going to be doing this a lot. Bend elbows, come all the way down to belly. Long legs, pointed toes. Roll shoulders away from the ground. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Grip your mat with your fingers. Pull forward. Lift slightly of the upper body, and maybe lifting your feet and legs. Inhale. Exhale. Push back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. Do a sink of the chest and return to neutral. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, left heel plants into the floor. Rise up, warrior one. Exhale, open, warrior two. Side angle, reach forward. Rotate the arms, right hand down, left hand up. Bring left hand down behind you. 3 circles of the shoulder. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, re-extend left arm up into the air. Exhale, turn hands to the floor. Step back, plank. Bend elbows, come all the way down to your belly and chest. Lengthen the feet, roll shoulders back. Lift chest slightly, maybe lift feet and legs. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck toes. Hands and knees. Down dog. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg up behind you. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, opening warrior two. Right away, side angle, reach out, rotate the arms. Left hand down, right hand up. Right hand down behind you to low back. 3 circles of the shoulder. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, re-extend right hand up. Exhale, turn hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Finish that same sequence. Come all the way down to belly. Shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades together. Lift to your back bend, minor back bend. And then just come back to hands and knees. Hold here for a moment. We're going to bring the elbows down to the floor. Here. And if you're able, keep the arms parallel to one another. Spread out your fingers so they're nice and wide. Stay on your knees here. We're eventually moving to dolphin, but not just yet. We're going to do what we did in down dog, where I had you kind of sink your chest between the arms. Okay? So what we're doing, we're sinking the chest as if you're sending your chest towards your knees. And then come back to neutral. Do that 3 more times. Exhale as you take that sinking sensation. Inhale, release. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Then come back to neutral. And actually sit all the way back into child's pose. You might need to come back up onto your hands first. Adjust your body and sit back into child's pose. We're going to do 2 versions. 1, extend the arms out in front of you as if you're reaching for the front edge or corners of your mat. Now your back might be slightly rounded, and if that's the case, just see if you can breathe into your back body. We're going to do this a little bit more in a second in a different position. All right. If you like, you can just rest your forehead on the ground. Now bring your hands and arms behind you. Maybe just hold on to your feet or heels like this. Now let your shoulders relax like they want to drop down towards the ground. And this too creates a bit of a broadening of the back. Inhale to try to puff up your back. Exhale, 2 more breaths like that. So puffing up the back. We'll call this embryo. Kind of another version of child's pose. All right, let's release. Let's bring the hands back out in front. Come back up to hands and knees. Tuck toes and come to plank pose. Again, pressing into the ground, strong arms and shoulders. And we're going to side plank. So right side plank. Right hand stays on the ground as you open up sideways. More strength movement. So side plank. Now here you can stack the legs one on top of the other. If you need a little bit more stability, step one foot in front of the other. Left hand and left hip are lifting into the air. Lots of strength here. Breathe in. We're going to exhale and slowly and carefully return to plank pose and do the other side. Side plank. Now if you need to or want to, you can bring left knee to the ground just for a little bit more stability. Reach high with the right hand and right hip. Again, the legs can be stacked or staggered. The left hand just pressing firmly into the floor to help stabilize the arm and shoulder. Breathe in. Exhale, right hand to the ground, plank pose. Bend your knees, hips into the air, down dog. Jump, step, or walk with an exhale, both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Hold there for a moment. A nice release of the back, neck, and shoulders. Then shift your weight into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come up to standing, reach high. Exhale, arms down by your side. All right, so we've added some more sensation to the arms and shoulders. All right, let's continue. Here, we're going to do what we did earlier. We're going to inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, just bring your arms down and behind you. Just reach or grab fingers. Roll shoulders back. Look directly forward so your neck is in the same alignment as the rest of your spine. Bend your knees a little. Tip over into a chair pose. Hands can rest on your back body or lift away from the body. Shoulder blades are squeezing together. Now you can stay just like this. This is fine. Or if you want to go lower your belly down towards your thighs. Head dips, hands lift. Again, you can stay high or come down low. Lengthening in the neck. Whatever fold or chair-like position you're in, bring your folded fingers to your low back. Release the fingers, let them drop and come down to a forward fold. Then monkey pose, rise up halfway. Let's continue. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the ground. Step or hop back into plank pose. Chaturanga, just a regular chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. In up dog. See if you can shoulder roll them back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel comes down behind you as you float up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Still moving, side angle, reach out, rotate the arms. This time we're just going to extend the left arm overhead like so. Reach. Just another sensation for the left arm, left shoulder area. Extending out over the mat here. Let's breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor, step back, plank pose. Stay in plank because we're going to a right side plank. Right hand stays on the floor, just reopening sideways. Left hand, again, reaching into the air. Here, we'll bring left hand down behind you to low back. Open up through the chest, just a different sensation. Inhale, re-extend left hand up. Turn, bring hands to the floor, knees to the floor, elbows to the floor. Here is where we're going to move into Dolphin. Now again, the arms can stay parallel, or if you can't, or if you want to or need to, the hands can come in a little closer towards center. Lean forward so you have some weight in your forearms and hands. Feel that same broadening in the back. Puff up the back. Now tuck toes. With an exhale, lift knees off the ground, hips into the air. Knees will stay very bent as the hips lift. Again, the pressure into the ground is through the hands and your forearms. This is Dolphin. This certainly gets into the shoulders as well, strengthening. We're going to bring the knees back down. Sit back, child's pose, arms extended out front. Reach for the corners of your mat. Maybe the forehead touches the ground. Now bring hands behind you. Grab hold of the feet. Let the shoulders relax, dropping them down towards the ground. Take a breath in to puff up the back in this embryo position. One deep breath. Bring the hands back out in front. Rise back up to hands and knees and position yourself so you can return to downward facing dog. Other side. Inhale, extend left leg up. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants. Inhale, float up. Exhale, open warrior two. Side angle pose. Reach out. Rotate the arms. Follow the right arm overhead, reaching and extending out over the front portion of your mat. Different sensation through the right shoulder, but also some lengthening down through the right side of your body. Let's breathe in. Exhale, we'll turn, hands to the floor, step back into plank, and then left side plank. Left hand stays on the floor, turn sideways. Right arm initially reaches up into the air, and then if you're able, bring right hand down to low back. Breathe in, re-extend, right hand up, turn, back to plank pose, knees to the floor, elbows to the floor. Setting up for Dolphin. Arms are parallel or more of a triangle shape, rounding the back, lifting knees, sinking chest down between the biceps. Pressure is in the hands and arms, not your elbows. Bring the knees back down. Child's pose. So feel the hips sit back towards heels as the arms reach out. Feel that in your shoulders. Your forehead can rest on the ground. Now reach back for your feet. Let the shoulders drop and relax. Take a deep breath in. Fill up your back body. Exhale. Let's rise up to hero. Let's do that same stretch we did earlier. Here, extending left arm out to the side, bring it across the body. The other arm just hooks, draw it in, stretch. Two more. Release, re-extend, out to the side and down. Right arm out to the side, bring it across the body. Give it a hook, just pull gently across, stretch. And we'll be getting a little bit more into the sensation near the end of our practice. I have a different stretch that we'll do that will get into this kind of stretch a little bit more. And let's release, re-extend the right arm out to the side and down. Maybe some shoulder rolls here too. Just kind of check in with your neck and shoulders. Very good. All right, back to our hands and knees. Cat and cow. Lift head and heart, arch the back. Let's just take 3 breaths. Exhale, round. There's that broadening of the back. Feel that. Inhale, look up or forward, arch the back, little back bend. Exhale, round. One more. All right, pause in this tabletop posture. Step the hands forward a little bit. Tuck your toes. Lift knees and hips, down dog. Okay, let's inhale, extend right leg up. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. We're going to a high lunge. We're going to do several things here. Shifting the weight back a little bit so we're more balanced. No weight in the hands so we can float up to a high lunge position. Reach high with straight arms. Lunge low.
Squeeze to inner thighs. We're going to try to hold this. This is getting into the legs, but we're also going to focus on our arms. You're going to bend the elbows, coming back to that cactus pose. I'm just showing you like this. I'm just showing you. So back to your cactus. Walk through the doorway so chest is forward. We're going to do several things here. Lean forward or tip forward like this. Hinge, so you're about 45 degrees, and then reach the hands behind you. Just reach with active hands. And if you can, engage your shoulder blades together. We're still in our lunge. Drop the arms down and then up and forward like this, just like this. And then come back to neutral with the upper body. Turn your palms so they're down. Drop your left arm so it's lower than the right arm. Cross your arms so you're forming an X right at your elbows like this. Okay, and then flip your palms up and then reach up like this. So we're just going to wrap the arms here like you're doing eagle pose. So we're just doing eagle in a lunge. So we get a little leg work in addition to our shoulder work. Now this too gets into that rear portion of the shoulders. Then we're going to release. Just drop the arms, reach up into the air, straight arms. Exhale, fold. Hands down, just step back into down dog. Okay, both feet on the ground. Hold in down dog for a moment. Same thing other side. So inhale, extend left leg up. Left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Right heel stays lifted. Find your centering. Less weight in the hands. Hinge up, reach up, straight arms. Lunge low. Energize the legs so you can stay in this balancing lunge position. Elbows bend to 90 degrees. Push through your doorway. We're getting the front portion of the shoulders here. Hinge to about 45 degrees. Reach back with the hands. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Drop the arms, then bring them forward so they're parallel to the ground and you're perpendicular to the ground. Palms down. Drop your right arm so it's lower than the left. Cross at the elbows, make an X. Now flip the palms up and then reach up. So you're just bending the elbows. And if you can, wrap up the arms so you have eagle arms here. If you kind of lift the elbows a little bit more, we get more sensation perhaps in the upper back and the rear portion of the shoulders. This is also a test of balance too, since we're in this lunge. Unwind the arms, reach both arms straight up into the air, fold, hands down to the ground, step back, down dog. Hold in down dog. Jump, step, or walk, both feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way up, reach high. Exhale, arms down by your side. If you'd like, shake it all out. Now we're ready to put a sequence together with all those components. Start in mountain pose, nice and tall. Shoulders, they should feel like they're naturally rolling back. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the sky. As you exhale, just bring the arms down. Reach back. Interlace fingers if you're able. Bend your knees. Come to a chair-like pose or fold. Fingers, knuckles reaching towards the back of the room or towards the ceiling. We're not going to be here long. Lower your arms. Release the fingers, let the arms drop down to the ground. Then monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step both feet back, plank pose. We're coming all the way down to our bellies. Long legs, pointed toes. Roll the shoulders back, lifting a little bit. Hands and knees. Tuck toes. Actually, no, you're going to bring your elbows to the floor here. Dolphin. Lifting knees, lifting hips. Sinking the chest. Now you might need to tiptoe forward a little bit. Get the hips nice and high. Sinking chest between the biceps. Good. Bring the knees to the floor.
Child's pose. Extend the arms out front. Sit back. Bring the arms behind you. Grab hold of the feet. Let the shoulders relax. Breathe into back body. Bring the hands back out in front. Come back up to hands and knees. Plank pose. Right side plank onto the right hand. Opening up sideways, left hand up into the air. Bring that left hand down behind you to low back. Inhale, re-extend, left hand up into the air. Other side. Right hand up. Down behind you. Take a breath. Re-extend, right hand up. Hands to the floor. Take a shortcut to down dog. Inhale, extend right leg up into the air. Right foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Float your way up. Reach high. Make sure the legs are engaged. Bend elbows to 90 degrees. Push through your doorway. Hinge forward, reach behind you with your hands. Interlace fingers. We're going to add something here. Release fingers, drop them to the floor or towards the floor, then forward. Let's do our eagle arm. So left arm is going to be down and below the right. Make your X. Wrap it up the arms. Good. Let's unwrap the arms, reach them up into the air. Open warrior two. Side angle. Right hand down, left hand up and over your head. Reach and extend. Breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. That's our sequence. Come all the way down to your belly. Roll shoulders back. Just a slight lift for your back bend. Push back to hands and knees. Bring elbows to the floor. Dolphin. Set it up. Tuck your toes when you're ready. Get that broadening of the back. Engage your belly, then lift knees. Hold for a couple breaths. You can even sink chest between the biceps. Some pressure in the forearms and hands. Bring knees back down to the ground. Child's pose. Reach through the arms out front. And then bring the hands behind you. Hold on to the feet. Let the shoulders relax. Broaden the back. Deep breath in. Exhale. Hands back out in front. Come back up to plank pose. Doing our side planks again. We're starting with left side plank. Onto the left hand, opening up sideways. Right hand reach up. Bring right hand down behind you to low back. Breathe in. Exhale. Re-extend right hand up. Come back to plank. Right side plank. Left hand up into the air. Bring it down behind you. Deep breath. Re-extend left hand. Left hand to the floor. Shortcut to down dog. Inhale, extend left leg up into the sky. Left foot to the top of the mat. High lunge. Find your center. Rise when you're ready. Reaching up, straight arms, lunging deeply, engage the legs. Bend the elbows 90 degrees. Walk through your doorway. Hinge forward as you reach back. You can just reach, or if you can, interlace fingers. Reach the knuckles towards the back of the room. Release. Bring arms out in front of you, parallel to the ground. Drop the right arm lower than the left. Cross at the elbows, making your X. Wrap it up, eagle arms. Couple breaths. Then unwrap the arms, reach up into the air. Inhale. Exhale, open warrior two. Side angle. Rotate the arms, reach up and overhead with the right hand, lengthening. Good. Breathe in. Exhale, we'll turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Hold. Push into the ground. Strong arms and shoulders and upper back. Then just set knees onto the floor. Alrighty. Now, we're going to need at least one block. bring a block in and maybe out in front of you, out in front of your mat for the moment, okay? Come back to hands and knees. I'm going to do two things here. First, you're going to step your left hand forward a little bit, and then turn your palm inward. Imagine your middle finger is the hand on a clock and it's pointing towards the 12, but as you dial it in, it's pointing towards the 1 or the 2. And also step your left hand a little bit to the left side of your mat. Lean into that left hand, extend your right arm out to the right side of the room, and then thread the needle. So right arm comes down and underneath, behind this left arm, as the left elbow bends to 90 degrees. Right here. To add a little bit more sensation to this, you can actually put some weight into your right knee. Extend the left leg back like this, so you're on your tiptoes back there. Swing this left foot towards your right hand. It's putting more energy in that direction, so you can actually lean back onto the right shoulder. Actually on the rear portion of the right shoulder. Just putting a little pressure on it, since it's pressing into the ground. Okay, we're going to bring the left leg back behind you. Bring the knee down. Push left hand into the floor. Since your arm is at 90 degrees, it's perfect leverage to help press and lift and unthread the needle. Come back to your tabletop. Hold there. We'll get set up for the other side. So we'll step the right hand forward slightly, and then right to the right side a little bit. Turn or dial the right palm inward so your middle finger is pointing towards the 10 or the 11. Left arm extends out to the left side of the room. Exhale, thread the needle. As your left shoulder and arm comes down to the floor, let the right elbow bend at 90 degrees. This is probably enough pressure on the left shoulder, but if you need a little bit more like I do, I'm literally kneeling on my left knee, extending the right leg back because it freed up the weight of the leg, and bringing this right foot around towards my left hand. And that allows me to roll a little bit more onto the back side of the left shoulder. This takes some balance too, so don't worry if you accidentally roll out of this position. Bring the right leg back behind you. Bring the knee to the floor. Press right hand into the floor to help leverage your way out of this twist, hands and knees. All right, one more thing. Step the knees back a little bit, and then just bend your elbows and just lower your whole upper body to the floor. Extend your arms out to the side so you're forming a T shape. Bring the left palm in underneath the shoulder. When you push into the floor with the left arm, you're turning sideways, just like this. And this stretches the right shoulder. Can you see me? Now, you may not want to have your head just kind of hanging there. That's why the block or pillow or whatever you've got can come in handy. So you can rest your head. Okay? And so you can kind of gauge how much pressure you're putting on that right shoulder. If you roll towards your stomach, it lessens it. Or if you roll away from the floor, it puts a little bit more pressure. Couple breaths. All right, we're going to come out of this posture, rolling back down onto the belly. Re-extend the left arm. Bring the right hand in underneath shoulder. Push into the floor so you're rolling onto that left shoulder. Bring in that block or pillow for a little support. That's supporting your neck. And then kind of gauge how much sensation you want in the left shoulder. You can even change the angle of that extended left arm if you need to. A few more breaths. We're almost done. And then we'll come back to neutral, lying on your belly. Push back to hands and knees. And then just kind of spin around, because you're going to lie down on your back. Moving right into Shavasana. Now as you lie down onto your back, I'm just adjusting my mat here. As you're lying down, since we only have a few more minutes in class here, you can go right into Shavasana and use these remaining minutes to completely relax. Or you can go ahead and add a few more poses, a twist, a back bend, a hip opener, an inversion. Whatever you want to do here is entirely up to you. And whenever you feel complete, be sure to give yourself at least a few minutes resting in Shavasana, having completed your dynamic, moving practice. Stay here as long as you like. If you're still in motion, still creating some nice stretches, releasing, some restorative movements for the body, continue that if you'd like. Or maybe you're lying still in Shavasana. Wherever you are, if you're in motion or if you're still, concentrate on your breathing. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Even as I end the practice, you can stay just as you are, especially if you're just now coming down to Shavasana. And when you are ready to move, start with breath. Just taking some slow, deep breaths. Reintroduce your body to this breathing effort, and maybe take 5 slow breaths. Feeling movement slowly return to your body as you're breathing deeply. And after your 5th breath, take your time, carefully roll onto either side of your body, just coming to a nurturing pose, holding here for a few moments if you like. And then press yourself slowly to seated. Find your comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall. Arms just can relax down by your side and feel that relaxation in your shoulders as well. We'll do one last movement together. Let's inhale, extend your arms up into the air, and as you exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart space. Once here, hold in stillness. Focus on your breathing. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying Namaste.